Let's be real. Are your automated test suites taking forever to run? I'm talking hours and hours just waiting to find out if your code is good to go. It's a huge drag on everything. But what if you could change that? What if you could turn that frustrating crawl into a lightning-fast sprint? Well, you can. Let's break it down.
So to get this, you just need a really simple mental picture. On one side, you've got your traditional sequential testing. Think of it like a single-lane traffic jam during rush hour. Every single car or test has to wait for the one in front of it. It's slow, it's painful. On the other side, that's our goal. Parallel testing. It's a multi-lane expressway where all the tests are running at the same time in their own lanes. This shift is everything. But before we can get on that expressway, we really have to understand the problem that, let's face it, pretty much every development team runs into. It's called the sequential bottleneck.
And this is that painful reality. The sequential bottleneck is when your big, comprehensive test suite has to run one test, then the next one, then the next one. It creates these massive delays in getting feedback, which makes modern practices like continuous delivery feel almost impossible.
And this is not a small problem we're talking about. A full comprehensive test suite can easily take 8 hours to run. 8 hours. Think about that. You push your code in the morning and you literally don't know if you broke anything until the end of your workday. That's the pain we are trying to fix.
So, how do we fix it? Simple. We get on the parallel expressway. This is the modern, powerful answer to that old, slow traffic jam.
Parallel execution is, well, it's exactly what it sounds like. Instead of running tests one by one, you run them all at the exact same time. You do this by distributing them across different resources. Maybe it's multiple threads on your machine, or even across a bunch of different machines. You're basically just splitting up the work so it all gets done way, way faster. And the goal here is just so compelling. We want to take that 8-hour nightmare and crush it down into something that finishes in minutes. That means getting quick, actionable feedback right when it matters most, immediately after you've written the code.
Okay, this all sounds amazing, right? But there is one absolutely critical, non-negotiable rule you have to follow for this to work. It is the golden rule of parallel testing. And I want to pause here for a second because it is that important. If you only take one single thing away from this explainer, let it be this. This is the one rule you simply cannot break. And that rule is test isolation. It means every single test has to be completely independent. It has to be stateless. Think about our expressway again. Every car has to stay in its own lane. It can't bump into other cars or rely on them. Your tests can't depend on data from another test because you have no idea which one is going to run first. And what happens when you break this rule? Oh, it's not pretty. System crashes. I'm not talking about a few failed tests. I mean catastrophic, impossible to debug failures. Tests start stepping on each other's toes, they collide over shared data like hard-coded user IDs, and your whole system just becomes flaky and unreliable. This is why isolation is absolutely everything. Okay, so we get it. We understand the problem, we see the solution, and we definitely understand the golden rule. So how do we actually, do this? How do we build the on-ramps to our expressway? Well, it really just boils down to a few key steps. First, and you guessed it, most importantly, you have to design your tests to be independent. Then, you want to manage any external dependencies with things like mocks, so you're not stuck waiting on slow third-party systems. Then, and this is crucial, you implement setup and teardown routines. This means each test creates its own unique data and then cleans up after itself. After all that, you just tell your test runner to go for it. And what's really cool is how simple this can look in practice. This is a configuration file for testng, a popular test runner for Java. See that line there? Parallel equals methods and thread count equals 10? That's it. That is literally the instruction to open up 10 lanes on our expressway and run 10 tests all at once. And this isn't just for old school frameworks. A lot of modern tools like Curated here are actually built for this stuff from the ground up. In this example, each scenario, like creating user A and then creating user B, is naturally independent. The framework is just designed to run them in parallel. No extra work needed, because they already follow the golden rule. So you've done the hard work. You've built your isolated tests. You configured your runner. Now for the best part. What's the payoff? Well, it's massive. We're talking about getting to your destination in minutes, not hours. And this visual says it all, doesn't it? On the left,
That's our 8-hour sequential test suite, a painful 480 minutes of waiting. On the right, by running those same tests in parallel, we have crushed that time down to about 32 minutes. That's a 15-time speed improvement. It completely changes the game for development. And this kind of speed has huge real-world payoffs. It's what enables true continuous testing, where tests can run automatically on every single code check-in because they're fast enough. It lets you validate really complex microservice architectures, making sure all those interconnected pieces are working together reliably. This isn't just a nice-to-have anymore. For modern software, it's a requirement.
To be perfectly clear, this idea of continuous testing, which is kind of the holy grail of modern development, it's only really possible because of the incredible speed you get from parallel execution. Without it, you're always going to have a bottleneck that stops you from truly integrating testing into your pipeline. So, the crucial point, the main takeaway from all of this is simple. Isolation is the key to velocity. If you want speed in your development lifecycle, you have to master test isolation first. That discipline is what unlocks the incredible power of running things in parallel. And that brings me to the last question I want to leave you with. Think about your own projects, your own team. Is your test suite stuck in traffic? Because if it is, you now know there's a much faster way. There's an expressway waiting for you.